Welcome back, guys. So this video today may apply, maybe not directly to you, but maybe someone you know. Today we're going to talk about realtor safety a little bit, just a little bit. I just want to touch on it just a little bit. This professional group of people, I feel, should be a little more cognizant of firearms. Even though I get the whole selling sunset feel, the reality is of real estate, it is an industry that is female dominant, which is awesome. A lot of great female realtors. And it sometimes requires you to put yourself in vulnerable positions, whether you are a realtor or investor. It's not just so much agents, but just like in the real estate realm in general. So having a female dominated industry, I just, unfortunately, and this is the goodness truth, like unfortunately we live in times now where females are preyed upon, and a firearm can be the great equalizer. Now, I did have some stories pulled up. I'm gonna be completely transparent. I have some stories pulled up that I'm not gonna read to you, but better judgment and from advice from Hunter. It is just not one of them things. I don't want to fear monger you into this, but this is something that I feel that you should take the time to educate yourself on. Last thing I want is to show up in an open house and a realtor's dressed in full tactical gear with an AR talking about, this is what I learned at Fast Metal or Copper Custom. That's not the goal here. The goal is to give you a healthy awareness. If you guys don't know, I don't want to say part-time realtor. I'm going to say quality time realtor. I like to use that term as opposed to part-time. I'm very good at what I do. I just don't do a lot of transactions. It's more of a side thing for me, and that's no disrespect to the people who are full-time agents. The full-time agents are phenomenal, and it is the way they juggle things and multitask on a daily basis. It is a tough job. For those of you who think real estate is not a tough job, it is a very tough job. I have personally just learned, considering my normal job, I'm in the gun world and I do real estate. I've learned to balance myself. So that's how I kind of create time. And that's how I call myself a quality time. If, once I do one transaction, I'm typically doing that one transaction. For me personally, safety is always at the top of my mind. However, I'm not really a soft target. I am 6'2", about 205. So, and I'm not saying that's not an invitation for people to try me. I know how the internet is. Chill out. I'm not throwing that out there. But the typical person is not going to look at me and go, yeah, I'm going to attack that guy. However, like I said earlier, the industry is predominantly dominated by females. And you get a Zillow lead. I can speak realtorese, all right? I can speak that language. So you get a Zillow lead and you haven't really vetted this guy like you're supposed to, because sometimes we speed through that because we are very transaction driven. We're sales driven. We want to get to the closing table. That's how we make our money. So I totally understand that. However, sometimes speeding through that process can put you in vulnerable positions. So now you meet this person who you literally had a 15-minute conversation with, and you just don't know. You just don't know. So the great equalizer in that will be to have some education and awareness of firearms. In our country, you are allowed to carry them. Specifically, especially in Indiana, we are a very gun-friendly state. So I get the the tabooness of it, of not wanting to be a real estate agent who carries. But with your life on the line, I promise you to be one of them things that you won't regret. You'd rather need it and not. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it type situation. So in my personal real estate journey, I do carry. I'm pretty dressed like I am now. I'm pretty in the button up that's untucked and jeans, kind of basically business casual. And the firearm that I carry right here, check for YouTube, it is unloaded. I specifically bought this. This is a Glock 19 Gen 6. I specifically bought this for real estate because my typical carry was just too big. And it took away the professional feel. So I wanted something more discreet, that was closer to my body, that did not print as much. Now, my normal carry doesn't print because I have a really good holster to it, but still, your tire changes in real estate. And I just wanted something that was more discreet, that I was also comfortable with. So my main carry is a Glock 17 Gen 5. So I wanted something that kind of emulated that in a smaller package. So that's why I landed on this. So it's definitely something to consider and something to think about It's real estate, it's selling season, guys. Like, it's go time. You're going to be showing listings, the whole thing, open houses. There's a lot of stuff going on. So if you're interested and you want to get educated on this and you just been afraid to, there's a great opportunity coming up here June 13th. My buddies at Fast Metal Range. So these guys, these are the guys that I'm affiliated with in my gun world. Copper Custom, Fast Metal. They're under the same umbrella. Copper Custom is the gun sales. Fast Metal is the range and education. So what better way to come and show up at this event, June 13th, from 10 to 5 p.m. It's going to be open house style. We even know how to make it friendly for you guys. So it's something you're used to. It's going to be revolving door style. For you to come in a safe environment and get some education about this to see if it's for you. And maybe it's not a firearm. Maybe it's something else. The goal here is safety. Now, this event, I am with Century 21 Alliance. This event will be sponsored by Stately Real Estate. Tiffany Wallen is the owner. But, oh man, you got an agent talking about another agency. You know what? This is bigger than the agencies. This is about safety. This is about educating people and making sure you have the tools that you need when you are in a vulnerable situation, which a lot of you are consistently, to be able to react and respond in the proper ways to not only defend yourself, but other vulnerable clients as well. I.e., example, if you're an investor, sometimes when you're investing, you're going into some pretty sketchy areas at times because, those are where the deals are. So sometimes, people see real estate, they figure that out. They know if you're an investor, you probably got a little cash. So it's not just for just agents, but investors as well, for you to come and have the opportunity to get some education and get comfortable with and knowledge about whether carrying a firearm or some other type of self-defense tool would be good for you. So I really want to bring some attention to this. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. This is another part of my life that I just decided to combine it with another part of my life. I've been in real estate since 2020. And it's a great industry to be a part of. I've learned a lot in my, the real estate life has taught me a lot about money in my personal life. It is honestly, in my opinion, the keystone of the American economy is real estate. So show up June 13th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Fast Metal Range, be some great guys there. I will be there as well. I will be there not as a realtor, but as a familiar face for some of you Northwest Indiana realtors who know me. Quite a few of you know me, but as a Copper Custom employee, just to help ease that comfort, somebody you're comfortable asking questions to. So as always, blessings and peace, Double V out. Yeah.